director of GHCL. Now, when we spoke to him last and at the conference call of GHCL, Mr. Jalan did refer to the fact that in the near term there could be little bit of numbness in soda ash prices. Now, Mr. Jalan, I have the Morgan Stanley Tata Chemical report with me, and I have you, an industry representative. What is the reality as to where soda ash prices are headed? Do you expect a decline, a marginal decline, or do you expect that soda ash prices for next 2 quarters will remain firm?
See, Nikunj, as you rightly mentioned in the last call, we had a discussion with you where I have said a couple of things which are very important to note down. One, globally, if you look at the soda ash demand is going to be very, very healthy. And the projection is from 63 million, which is currently, will go up to 80 million by 2030. That's a very healthy demand of around 2.5% to 3% per year. The second, China is going to be gradually going to be not relevant for the global soda ash business because they will be growing only to the extent of what their demand is. The third, which is again very important, is that major growth in the soda ash production will not likely to happen in next 2 to 3 years of time. Up to 25, 27, probably you will not say any major growth in the soda ash production is going to come. Whereas the demand led by solar, and solar numbers are quite a big number. I just want to highlight that. And lithium carbonate as well as the sodium bicarbonate. In solar, currently in India, I just want to give you the number of India. Currently, India only produces a total solar energy is around 55 gigawatt. Government has a plan for 100 gigawatt in next 1 year, and the government also has a plan up to 2030 of approximately around 300 gigawatt. If you look at the soda ash demand in this alone, this industry or this business alone, will be approximately around 45 to 50 lakh tons by 2030, which translates into around 4.5 lakh to 5 lakh tons in per year kind of a thing, which is a big number. So that will lead in the soda ash demand going forward in India. Second is a lithium carbonate as well. In lithium carbonate, as you know, EV is becoming a big requirement for all the EV vehicle. There also a good demand of soda ash is likely to happen globally. Similarly on the sodium pipe. So if I summarize this whole process, I would say that going forward in the medium to long term, soda ash demand is going to be firm and the prices are likely to be firm only. Of course, as I said last time to you, Nikunj, that small bit which has happened in this quarter may continue for another one more quarter, which is approximately currently we have taken a price correction of around 2.5 to 3%. I don't see any major drop going forward from here. So therefore, my view is that soda ash prices will remain firm or balanced to firm going forward.
Concern in the market is that unlike a lot of other commodities, are soda ash prices nearing the top of the cycle? So what you're telling us is that soda ash prices are not nearing the top of the cycle. I'm asking this question again.
Yeah, Nikunj, as I said to you, if you look at, again, I would not say 1 or 2 quarters, which I have already highlighted. Yes, I would say that prices are going to be firm from here. Because no new supply is being seen in next 2 to 3 years of time, whereas the demand will keep on growing. And as you know, in solar, a lot of investment has been announced in India as well. Like a lot big corporate houses has announced a huge solar investments, and that will lead to the spurt in the soda ash demand. And obviously that will lead to the firmness in the prices as well.
Okay. So given what you've just highlighted, both the points in terms of demand and the capacity additions for the industry per se, what is your current order book at? And what is the visibility then going forward, considering while demand may not have picked up right now, but you see that happening in a year from now?
Yeah, if you look at, like I said, a couple of investment on the solar panel has been announced, and the next year, 23, 24, all those in a different quarter, those will get materialized, and that will give a demand push. And my estimation is next year, probably the demand growth will not be less than 7 to 8%. Whereas in India also, if you look at, there is no new plant or new capacity or new addition in the brownfield also has been announced. So therefore, obviously that will lead to a kind of firmness in the prices.
The chances, and I'm again quoting the Morgan Stanley report here, Tata Chemicals, they see upside risk to the price starting calendar year, upside risk to the prices starting C1 Q23, which means Tata Chemical is of the view that forget mandi, forget down cycle, forget decline. They see an upside risk. Is that a possibility that soda ash prices could go up and they could surprise us?
I think Nikunj, I have said that I definitely see a price firmness going forward, and of course, how much that number will be, it will all depends on how the growth takes place and how much time it takes to take place. But yes, I agree with that prices are going to be an upward side.
What happens to the unorganized players? Right now, there are two large players in India, GHCL and Tata Chemicals. How is the unorganized market moving? What is happening to the import? And do you see if prices remain firm, import could also happen?
So Nikunj, two things. If you look at in the Indian space, there are three major players. I would say, or you can say four players now. Nirma, of course, that's not a listed company, but they are also a major player in the soda ash. Second is a new entrant which has come 2 years back, which is RSPL. So there are four major players, and of course there are two smaller player as well. Now, in terms of the global scenario, other than China, if you look at the US, you look at the Europe, or you look at all these countries, there is a kind of a firmness in their demand, and therefore the likely chance of soda ash getting exported from those countries to India, probably chances are little. But of course, to the extent of the demand which is required for India, some export will continue to happen in India. China, as I mentioned last time also, some softness at this point of the time is there, but in the medium terms, that also will get irrelevant for Indian market. So therefore, overall, import will continue, however, not to a large number.
So Jalan, morning. What is the outlook on your volumes largely on the back of the plant shutdown in Q3? Has that been impacted, and any steps that you're taking in order to protect your margins? Can you give us any sort of number?
No, like I said, already said in my quarterly call that annual shutdown is a kind of a industry norm which happens to every industry of soda ash, which we do, generally we used to do once in a year. Now we have started doing it once in 18 months. So that has happened already in the month of October, and obviously that will have some impact on the volume of production. However, like I said, even the raw material prices are also softening. You know, the energy prices are softening. So therefore, we don't see any major bip into our margins going forward.
Right. You know, the one other thing I wanted to understand also was, since you did talk about Mr. Jalan margins, what is the outlook on raw material costs, energy costs, and thereby the margin visibility that you have at your hand right now?
See, at this point of a time, you know that energies are very volatile at this point of a time. So predicting that what will be the margin. However, currently, I would say that it looks to be on the positive territory.
Mr. Jalan, what is the last word which you heard on the demerger of textile and soda ash? I mean, when should we expect this year, next financial year?
No, Nikunj, this should happen this year. Like I said, 20th of December, the NCLT meeting is there. And hopefully in that will get approved. And after that, it takes only a few processes. And hopefully by 1st of April, the new company will get listed also.
Just to wrap it up with one final question, one of the most important raw material for any soda ash company is coal. You mentioned that prices are volatile. Guess what? In last 3 months, prices have come down. Despite old coke which you had imported, for the quarter gone by, you had reported record margins. Now that you will be importing new coal which is at a much lower price, will that lead to margin expansion is my simple question, sir.
I don't think in the next 2 quarters you should look at, like we always maintain some of the inventories. So probably you will not see too much of, I would say, upside in this next 2 quarters. But yes, in 23, 24, probably margin expansion could be seen.
Mr. Jalan.